Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tap House Talks, brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. When you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip, and you help support the channel and all the content that we produce here. So check them out, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Head over there and get your free, no obligation quote today. Well, I am Ryno, and as always, I am here at Baseline Tap House at Disney's Hollywood Studios, this gem of a drinking location. And today I have someone here, one of the most beautiful human beings I know, kindest people ever. It's me! I told her before we started I was going to make that joke, and now she's upset. It's one of my best friends, Amber. Cheers to you, Amber.
Cheers, dummy.
Thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm quite well, thank you. It's a beautiful day. It's very nice right now. It's not hotter than blazes, so I'll take it.
You know what's crazy is right now in Florida, I feel like of all the years I've been here, this March into April has been one of the best springtime seasons in the entirety of
even, I will say since like November, it has been very, very nice weather because
it got cool really early. I would even back it up even further.
There wasn't many cool nights at horror nights, but I'd say like once November hit, we got a lot of like nice, chilly, cool weather, and it has just been so nice this whole season.
You don't understand because one of my the hardest things about Florida is it's not necessarily the heat and the temperature. Amber's originally from California, so she knows that heat. But it's really the humidity. And so at night in Florida, a lot of times it can feel like someone's trying to suffocate you with your grandmother's wet electric blanket. Yeah.
Very specific.
And it didn't happen. That's what I told the cops. Just kidding.
It took a dark turn.
Just kidding. God, you know what's sad is I actually told myself I was going to start sending my grandmother clips of the shows I do. I don't think this is going to be the episode.
One. Yeah. Send her that exact one.
What are you drinking over there, by the way?
I am drinking first of all, my favorite ciders, which is Ace. Mm-hmm. Ace cider is the best cider that there possibly is. And it's based in California.
Mm-hmm. As all the drinks are here at Baseline Tap House. Because this is supposed to be a California microbrewery.
California. The reference to Disney California Adventure right over here on the wall.
What? Oh, the trolley car above us.
The red trolley car from California Adventure.
Should know better.
You should know better.
Hey, you know who has great nights? This is an awful segue.
Terrible segue.
California.
California does have
that
great
nice, cool weather at night.
They do. Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing: is that everybody knows lately? Not even lately. Well, people have been leaving comments on videos
recently.
And the podcast and stuff, and being like, "Oh, Ryno's talking about Disneyland again." And yeah, I am. And guess what? This whole episode is because
buckle up.
I brought Amber on here to be like, because the title of this video I'm going to call it is just "Why Disneyland?" Question.
You see my shirt?
Because her shirt answered it. So if you're listening, it says everything is better at Disneyland.
It's true.
So why? I thought we could sit and we could just talk about a little bit of our love of Disneyland, whether it's to reminisce with people who have gone a million times, who have been one time, who have never gone but are thinking about it, or maybe people who are like, why? Why would I go there? Because I didn't go until 2015, and I was a cast member at Walt Disney World, and you may or may not be a cast member at Walt Disney World, and redacted. But it is one of those things where I always thought we'd go because one of the perks, at being a cast member is like you're able to get yourself tickets basically to any one of the parks in the world, right? In the world,
well, Tokyo.
Yeah, except for
Tokyo's
I was going to say there's exceptions,
but it's still actually very affordable.
Yeah, well, I believe it is one of the most affordable of all the parks, actually.
It is. It's very affordable.
But we'll go someday. It is on my
list. I've been, but okay.
I'll go alone. That's fine.
Honeymoon. Sorry,
that's fine. That's fine.
My honeymoon.
That's fine. I'm not bitter like this beer. I'm drinking the Imperial IPA because I forgot to mention it.
Oh,
but it's fine.
That's right. It's fine.
When I finally went, I was like, because I know, for me as a customer, you're like, yeah, you'll go, because everybody be like, oh, well, Walt was there, and Walt was there. And I'm not, not to be like that guy.
I know what you mean.
I'm not that type of a fan.
You're not a big, like, heritage person. You're not a big,
yeah. And I don't mean to say that in no way I hope that doesn't, I don't believe that doesn't matter. I think it is important.
No, I know what you're saying.
All that stuff, but it was just one of those where I was like,
you don't have to be a heritage person to appreciate it. That's not the reason it's special.
100%.
It can be.
Yeah.
If you are a heritage person, there's lots of really
Well,
great
and
things
a lot
about
of
Disneyland
people-
that make it special.
And they
but-
use that as the draw to be like, oh, you know, and I remember being like, yeah, but that stuff doesn't matter to me. My memories are here at Walt Disney World. And then I went, and you were like, I was like, for me, it was one of those where it was hard to put in words, where it just is like, it is a very different experience.
It's
and
a
people will be
different
like,
feeling.
oh, it's smaller. But I only learned this fact recently, and I'm sure you can back this up because you know everything about Walt Disney World, about Disney parks, not. I don't want to say everything on planet Earth because we're not going to get into this.
He really took that back.
We've been to a
almost
trivia
immediately.
night together. So
What?
what?
How dare you? We have done trivia nights together, and if I remember correctly, you have lost quite a few.
Anyway, I also won. I broke the winning streak of the
Yes,
opposing
you did,
team
but that's only because
of my knowledge
you
of
Power Rangers.
Yes. No, but
What were you saying? Oh, so
you
you
knowing
learned
a
this
lot.
fact.
This is going to be a lot of this in this episode.
You learned this
no,
fact?
that Disneyland has more attractions in their two parks than Walt Disney World has.
Yes. So there's so many things I have to say about
I know.
Disneyland.
Well, you know what Walt Disney World loves to count an attraction as is like a splash pad.
Well,
Disney parks, I should say, not
yeah,
Walt Disney
but
World. But Disney
also
parks.
the thing is with Disneyland so my husband says this thing about Walt Disney World and Disneyland because my husband cannot pick. He cannot verbalize the phrase "I like Disneyland better
For our viewers,
than
could
Disney
you
World."
also just show your arm real quick?
Oh, this is my Disneyland
Oh,
tattoo.
wow,
Can you
okay.
see it? This is the Disneyland D.
Oh, and your husband's Walt Disney World D, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
that's
right over
crazy.
there. That's my husband.
Yeah, for our listeners, they have forearm tattoos. Yeah.
Because
As if on cue.
that was
Yeah.
actually perfect. But he will
I'll
not
give him his
say
check later.
out loud that he likes Disneyland better. He does, but he won't say it out loud.
Because he's an East Coast gal.
He's an East Coast gal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he went to Disneyland in 2005 for the first time
Is that
ever.
his first time? Okay.
Yeah, his first time
And
ever.
you need to know this, that her husband is an adamant, he loves history. He
Yes,
loves
very
that
big
backstory.
Very big history. So when he got to the turnstiles,
Sorry, they're
he
making
was-
chairs here.
Yeah, I know. He was crying. He had tears in his eyes, and his friend he went up to the turnstile to put his ticket, and the cast member was like, "Is he okay?" To his friend, and his friend goes, "He's just really happy to be here." And the cast member goes, "Well, we're happy you're here too, buddy." But again, though, it just feels different. But what I was going to say is, he won't say it. So he says that they're both are good feelings. They're just different. So he says that Disney World is like getting a blanket and putting it in the middle of a field and stretching out in the sun, and it's just a really nice feeling. And Disneyland is like a hug. So they're both good feelings. They're just different.
Okay, so and
I was
think
like, that's a great way to describe
everybody
it.
who goes and experiences these places, I think, has different ways of putting it into words. So for me, Disneyland is like a craft beer experience. Walt Disney World is like a mass assembly beer
Oktoberfest.
not to say it's less
a
special
bigger
and not to say that it's
production.
not deserved. Exactly. And there are people who need and want that specific thing, and there are other people who are like, let's get crazy.
Too. And if you and we can get into the nitty gritty too, but I do think that a lot plays into the fact of why things are different is because of the clientele is so different.
It
for
is very
both
different,
coasts.
yeah.
You have to deliver a different product because of the demographics that are visiting these different coasts, and I think that plays into it too.
I think that a lot of people, anywhere in the world, kind of plan Walt Disney World as being this very big family vacation. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Disneyland is so rooted in where it is and that culture of people who were there at the beginning, but who have passed on generation to generation. And not to say that Walt Disney World doesn't have that, because they're only 16 years behind it,
yeah.
But it is a little bit different. It's a little more of that sort of and because I think the property's smaller, it gets a lot more people who are just very casual. They take more ownership.
But it's also, I think, a big.
I think that is changing here, though.
And Disneyland in general, that was the first of its kind. A theme park. That didn't
for
exist.
everybody too, not just for kids.
A theme park did not exist. The term theme park was coined by Disney.
Yeah, because before that, I think it was amusement park,
carnivals,
right?
There's amusement parks.
Yeah.
There's fairs.
Because I grew up on an amusement park.
Exactly,
Well,
and
technically, it's a theme
but
park,
the idea of having a theme park that everything has a story and everything has a setting and everything has a feeling. that was coined by Disney. I also grew up going to Disneyland, so I remember going with my family a lot, but I don't have a lot of solid memories as a child at Disneyland. I have a couple, but not a whole lot. But
I don't have what do they call it, core memories necessarily at Walt Disney World, but I definitely grew up going here because my great grandmother used to live in I think she lived in like Fort Myers when I was really young, and then when I was getting a little bit older she moved to Marco Island. So it was one way or another you're going a really long distance to get to Walt Disney World. But that was kind of our like, we can go and we'll go, but we stay with Nana for like 4 or 5 days, and then we didn't stay at Walt Disney World property. We stayed off property.
Right.
Like I very distinctly remember staying.
Yeah, we never stayed on property.
I drive at like a Holiday Inn or something.
Like a Howard
something.
Johnson.
Yeah, and being able to see the FAO Schwartz and being
Yeah.
like, whoa, like I want to
the
go
coolest
there.
thing.
Yeah, and it's wild, but I thought maybe we could talk about, instead of more of that, like, oh, why are we raised to love it? Why aren't we raised to love it? Why do we actually love it? What do we specifically like about it? Okay, so I want to do something where I'm just going to say Disneyland, and you're like, what's that first thing that pops in your head?
Okay.
It can be anything. Picture, visually, food,
it is
smell.
Town Square.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like that's when it happens. Like when you're outside the gate and you're looking, you're like, oh, this is nice. When you go through the train station, you see Floral Mickey, you're like, this is nice. When you go through the tunnel, this is nice. But there's something that when I get into Town Square, and I don't know why, because Town Square means nothing to me in general, but when I get into that Town Square, I like...
So Town Square
like
is just beyond the train
butterflies.
station,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just like where the flagpole is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because it is like when you go into Disneyland, that first section in comparison to Magic Kingdom is much more intimate. Like the buildings are slightly smaller. They have
feel
trees.
Like the
so
sidewalks
it's
are a
shady,
little bit closer.
And it's a lot closer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's that first just like you feel like you're being engulfed or enveloped or what, but that's when it starts for me. When I'm in Town Square, I'm just like, and then when I walk to the end of the street and I can see Sleeping Beauty Castle, listen, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says.
It does feel like that I made it feeling.
I do, I do, and every single time.
And not even just like I made it here, I made it. I made it in life, I made it to this moment, I made it. It's like this like collision of these things where you're like, you did this.
Like what is that?
You got
why?
here.
Why does that happen? I don't know. Like,
and I know people will be like, oh, Sleeping Beauty Castle, so much bigger.
No,
hey, guess what castle you can go in? Wait. Sleeping Beauty, sorry. Cinderella's castle is larger. So I said it backwards. But anyway, but guess what castle that an average person could just go in and be like, oh, here's the whole story.
Like for me, again, it goes back to the laying on a field with a blanket and the hug, right? It's the same type of thing. Like Cinderella Castle is beautiful. It is stunning. It is just architecturally beautiful. It is, when you turn the corner and you see Cinderella Castle through the street, like it is jaw-dropping. It's beautiful. For me, Disneyland is warm and welcoming. It's not overpowering.
Feels
and I
tangible.
think that's why I like it.
Yeah.
I like that it's small. I like that it's cute and pretty. I like that I feel like I can
like
hug
that
that
I don't have to
castle.
walk everywhere.
I do like that, but
I mean, you are walking everywhere. You're going to get your steps in there too. But honey, literally these two parks are as far away as the entrance of Baseline Tap House as it is to the backstage entrance of behind Star Tours over here, right next to us.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and that's great too. To be in one park and be like,
maybe two
you want to
buses,
just
three
like bop
buses.
over to California Adventure and go.
You want to go see Spider-Man?
You want
do a flip
you want to
through
go
the
get
sky?
a drink?
Yeah.
Do you want to get a snack? Okay, let's talk about that. The other thing, food.
Oh my God.
Food.
Okay, so for me, that first thing
Food
I kind
at
of think of when you
Disneyland?
say Disneyland, I immediately, like I do get that visual of Sleeping Beauty Castle for
corn
sure,
dogs.
because for me, it's like I got to go in there, but it is like a permeation of a smell of food, but then like a feeling of food, and you're just like, what is the thing to eat here? Because it doesn't matter what time of year. And the thing is too, you can get your standard classics there that you've come to love if you've gone before,
and
but they are
probably
always
better
going to
there.
have some hot item that is new and delicious.
Can we end this once and for all? Like I know you and I agree on this. I know that just about anyone I talk to agrees on this, but like once and for all, churros are trash outside of Disneyland. I said what I said. If anybody is going to tell me that churros are better at Walt Disney World, you've never been to Disneyland.
No, you're stupid.
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
I'm sorry, I don't even
incorrect.
mean to speak so bluntly.
Wrong.
My problem is too, I remember, so I do have a very core Disneyland experience where it was like early on in me still going there, and I was trying to film all this stuff and like check out treats and stuff. And there was, it might have been like 2016, there was definitely a festival going on, and there was like a Dole Whip cotton candy. And I was like walking around to the carts, and every cart I walked by.
So cotton candy flavored Dole Whip?
Yeah.
Or hold on, wait.
No, yes, yeah.
Cotton candy that's flavored like Dole Whip.
Dole Whip, yes, not a Dole Whip that is cotton candy. Yeah,
okay.
the other way
okay,
around.
Got it.
And I went to all these outdoor carts, and I'm like, I don't see cotton candy. I don't see cotton candy. So finally, after like an hour, I walked up and I was like, hey, do you guys, like, what's up with the cotton candy today? And they're like, oh, it's actually a little humid today, so we don't usually put it out until the humidity drops. And I went, you're kidding, right? And they went, oh, no, it like
Why would
ruins
they?
the thing. And I said, how would they ever sell this at Walt Disney World? And they said, we don't know.
They don't.
Yeah, and I was
don't.
like, and that was that first moment where I was like, oh, that's funny. But also, it's a big note in the care and quality.
But,
not to say
but
that Walt,
no,
and
no,
this
no,
is
no,
not
I-
a video or
I don't think that
episode to
bash Disney
Yeah,
World.
yeah.
No, I disagree. Okay, so here's the thing. So first of all, I do work for Disney World. I love Disney World. I live here. I must enjoy it, right? I've been here for 17
Hello,
years.
this is like the second or third time we've been here together in a week.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it here. Do not get me wrong. Disneyland is my heart. Disneyland is my favorite place in the world. Disney World has its
If someone
great
says
things.
you're going on vacation, where are you going?
I'm going to Disneyland.
And it was one of those where it's like, yeah, that happened because we lived here, but I also felt that if you were to remove me and say which one of if we moved to the Midwest and we were to say, Amber, where are we going?
Disneyland.
Yeah.
And
I mean, eventually we would come back here.
And the truth is, like, if you just want to talk like break it down to brass tacks, right? If you're talking about like a business sense of things, like it's just the way that the businesses are run. Because again, it goes back to that demographic. Disneyland's demographic is like 3/4 of their guests are return locals. Mm-hmm. If you put out that cotton candy and it is trash,
oh, you're going to hear about it.
You're going to hear about it, but also that means that local that's also going to be here on Saturday is now not going to buy that cotton candy because they tried it that one time and they're not going to get it again. So it does have to be served properly. And the whole thing of
you're held accountable.
Right.
It's
Why
accountability.
does Disneyland get all the nice things? Why does Disneyland get new parades? They have to, man.
Yeah.
They can't keep using the same stuff because they have to entice their locals to come back. Whereas if you look at Walt Disney World from a business perspective and a demographic, most of the people that visit here are first time or once in a lifetime guests.
Yeah.
So to be quite frank, we don't have to get it right every time.
Well,
because chances are that person is going to come back and realize that, or like be like, that wasn't the best. Oh, I'll move on to my day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a deal breaker if like that one time the cotton candy
It's like
was
we've
not
been
so far.
trained to get used to it here, and the opposite happened there.
Right.
They trained their people to be like, it's bad, give me a new one there. And here they were like, it's bad. And they're like, we'll try something different next time.
Right, exactly.
You know,
and that's what's great about Disney World is there is different things to try, and there is different things.
I don't want to say that we're like, oh, it's not this or that. And I do feel like there is a wind of change brewing in terms of that attitude in Florida, especially in the last couple of years, especially since COVID. I think that there is, annual pass holders, because I think there was an influx in population in Florida, in Central Florida, in Orlando specifically. And a lot of people were like questioning, they want to live their best life. And for them, we are in that generation of people who are like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to be happy.
You're totally right.
And I think the Orlando parks are going to have to kind of get their attitude a little more adjusted to that, and they have been. I will say that. I will say that.
Yep.
So I do enjoy seeing that. So it's not. This isn't like a negative.
No.
Walt Disney World
And let
video.
me tell you, okay, I
Because
will say
we'll have
this.
another one. We'll talk about what we love about Walt Disney World.
I will say this without going into specifics or anything, but I work with people whose job is legitimately quality control.
Yeah.
And their job is legitimately to look at things and be like, that needs to be fixed,
Well,
that needs
and
to be
also
addressed.
look at how
that
massive
stuff
it is.
happening.
How big
Correct.
is it here?
And
That's
every little
that's
detail.
the flip side of that.
Exactly. So it's hard to keep up, but it's not like that's not happening.
Yes.
Believe me, I can't stress enough. It's happening. Even if you can't see it, or even
it's
if
also
you see
one of those things.
one thing that's not right, it is happening. People care so much.
It's harder because it is such a massive thing, and there it is a lot easier to get somebody to come out and paint and fix a sign than it is at Walt Disney World. And
because we're just so massive.
Yeah.
We're so massive, and we have so many more parks and resorts, and there's just But I promise you that the people that are behind the scenes, it's actually quite a fascinating operation to see how hard people work and how committed and dedicated they are to make sure that everything here is the way it should be.
Well, regardless of all of that, I do want to just without getting too much deeper into any of the things, is just talk about specifically, like we did say, we love the food there. And there is a thing where I feel like because it's smaller, because it's intimate, because they have so many returning guests. Also, in like 2017 or 2018, I went to a social media event there, like invited by Disney for work. And I spoke with a marketing person for Disney, and they were like, one of their largest demographics there, if not their largest demographic, I just don't want to misspeak, is they call them AWOCs, adults without kids.
Yeah.
And you were like, huh. And so, like, I do feel like Disneyland does skew a little bit more
to that.
Yeah, and I don't mean it being like, because I'll always say Universal Studios feels like it's for older kids here.
Sure.
That's definitely thrill ride, and not to say that there aren't a massive amount of family offerings at Universal and in the future with Epic Universe.
Right.
Specifically, like that park is going to knock it out of the park, I think, with that stuff. But there is that element of people who, I don't know, there's some statistic out there where like the next generation is the first one to not be larger than the one before it. And you're like, and they speak about it like a bad thing, but also I'm like, look at external factors, look at the economy, look at the world, look at the thing, but also like just the general, like in science that has to happen. There's only so much space, right? So like it's like a bridge. It has to expand and contract when it's hot or it's cold. Yeah. And that's how I think about it. And I think we are maybe in terms of like being a Disney fan and a Disney Parks fan, I think we maybe are in that moment where I think people are seeking that intimacy. They are seeking that hug. They are seeking that sort of very like,
it's also nostalgia.
Like ownership. And they want to feel like what they're putting into this relationship they're getting back.
Yeah.
Right? And that's part of it. And so like Disneyland for me, it's one of those where you I don't want to be like, oh, that's what I get when I get there. But it does. You walk in there and there is a sense you're like, everything this light touches, like. But
I also feel like what I'm seeing so prominently in Disney in general, both coasts, what I'm seeing is that we are responding to the demographic that's kind of taking the torch, to what you're saying. Like,
and I think it's happening here at a very crazy rate.
If you look at that at Disneyland, right? Like one of my favorite newest examples is that reimagining of Toontown. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that the whole Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway queue is a love letter to our generation.
Yeah, also,
I'm sorry.
How does that blow ours out of the water?
I
you were like, we developed it. It was developed for here. And then they're like, oh, get this, we're going to make a queue. And you're like, yeah, whatever, who cares?
As good as the attraction.
And then you were like, of course it's for our generation. Like, what are the posters themed after?
Right.
It's like.
I mean, granted, there are some
a Goofy
classics
movie, High School Musical.
But like, in the fact that like Goofy's house is not just Goofy's house anymore. Like, it is an ode to Goof Troop and a Goofy movie.
Because it's got the Powerline blanket. Oh my God, yeah.
I can't. And so that to me is so clever and so smart because it's like, who are the parents now?
And I think that's what
that
people
are taking
want.
Their kids over there.
They want
are
that
the people
acknowledgement.
Who grew up with a Goofy movie, and
100%.
they're showing their kids a Goofy movie and taking them over there. Like that's a big part. It's
Also,
very clever.
I
It's
would
very
love
smart.
it if it was represented even more in the park, but I'm one of those.
I know.
Did you know that Max Meet and Greeting over here is not Goofy Max? Is not Powerline Max anymore?
No.
No.
What a bummer.
It was just regular Max the other day. I don't know if that's real or permanent or just that day I
met
saw
Powerline
it.
a few months ago.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
But I do want to talk about some of our favorites. So if somebody's going to Disneyland for the first time, we'll do another episode of Walt Disney World because we got plenty of like must-dos we got to do. Like Amber and I have classics that we're like, we're going to do it. We do it, every time. Obviously based on Tap House, but like specifically, I want to talk about, okay, we're going to Disneyland because you and I have gone to Disneyland together. What's a thing where you're like, okay, I'm here and we got to get it? You already said it. Disneyland corn dog, right?
The Disneyland corn dog is.
But where do you get it?
Okay.
Because some people will go to Corn Dog Castle, and I don't agree with that.
No, okay.
That's it for a special corn dog.
Yeah, there we are.
Okay.
So, the hand-dipped corn dog you get at the Little Red Wagon at the end of Main Street.
And you can mobile order if anybody doesn't want to wait in line.
You can also get a pickle there. A pickle, I don't
get it. I don't get the pickle thing.
No.
It's fine.
Disneyland pickles. So my husband teases me for this too, because that's probably like my most purchased snack at Disneyland.
Is it pickle?
Is the pickle.
Really?
I get the pickle all the time.
Oh my God, what's
it's
mine? I don't
huge.
know.
It's gigantic. They have spicy pickles. They're so good. And Steve will make
Okay.
fun of me, and he'll be like, "Let's go get your gas station pickle." Like that's what he'll call it.
The
is
next
the gas
time I
station
go, I'm
pickle.
gonna get a pickle just for you.
You have to like the.
Because I've never purchased one at Disneyland.
I don't know what it is because he's
I'll
right.
get the spicy one.
Because he's right. It is a gas station pickle. Like it's in a little.
I know,
like,
but
a
I
little
see them
plastic
everywhere.
package. But there's something about the flavor and like the crispness of it, like and being in Disneyland, it's just like nostalgic to me. Like so, I love the pickle, and you can also get the pickle at the corn dog cart. But so yes, you get the hand-dipped corn dog at the wagon.
100%.
You get the hot link corn dog
Yeah.
at Corn Dog
At Corn
Castle.
Dog Ca-
Now listen to me right now.
Is that the one with the cheeses in it?
No.
Because there's a
Something-
cheese one. They do a cheese
there is,
one
that
too.
one's good, but something you should know about me is one of my favorite foods on the planet is a hot link. And Florida
What is a
doesn't
hot
know
link?
what a hot link is.
It's a hot dog.
It's not a hot dog. It's like a sausage or a brat. It usually snaps when you bite into
Oh
it.
yeah, like a
but it's
kielbasa. Like
spicy.
a yeah.
And it's called a hot link.
Okay.
And they're very, very popular in California, especially where I'm from. And
Yeah.
every time I go home, my mom has them, and we make hot link sandwiches every single time I'm home on sourdough bread. So the fact that they
love
have
sourdough bread.
hot link corn dogs, every single time.
Okay, I will
get
do that next time.
good.
In Massachusetts or New England specifically, I mean New England, but I think Massachusetts more generally, we have linguiça, which is a Portuguese, and it is.
We have linguiça pizza
okay.
back home.
Yeah, we do too. And I ordered
Yeah.
it. I tried to order it here when I first moved here,
We're
and
like,
I said,
"What's linguiça?"
and they were like, "What are you saying?" And I
That's
was
like tri-tip too.
"I'm never ordering here ever again."
Have you ever had tri-tip?
Yeah, my mom talked. Well, shut up about it.
Okay, so tri-tip is a
We're
big
making
thing.
tri-tip.
Yeah.
We're making
Yeah.
tri-tip. We have tri-tip. What is tri-tip, Mom? Little pieces of steak?
It's really good.
Yeah, it is.
It's like I love tri-tip.
Okay, so I agree with you 100% on that. I like to get lots
And the
of
birria
mustard.
tacos.
Where?
The birria tacos. Have you not had?
Where?
I took you to get birria tacos.
Okay, that's brand new.
It's not brand new.
It's San Francisco. It's not even 1 year old.
It was there before it was San Francisco.
They had birria tacos over there?
Well, they definitely
No.
had tacos and
No.
stuff.
In birria at Cafe Cucamonga?
Listen,
I don't think so.
listen.
I don't believe
I
you.
had the birria tacos for the first time last August when we went to Disneyland.
At San Francisco.
Yes, they are delicious.
I still haven't done a full top to bottom review of San Francisco, but
and neither have
that
I.
that corn on
birria
that
tacos.
street corn. I
The
want
street
that.
corn's
Yeah.
really good. We got the street corn.
Yeah, it was good. I
Yeah,
gotta
we
go
got
do
the
and do
street
like a
corn and
review
we
of
got
it.
the birria tacos. Like those are two God, so good. My
Okay,
niece
let's
just
do it
went
by
for her
Disneyland.
birthday.
Let's stop. Disneyland.
Disneyland.
How do you feel about a mint julep, the official drink of Disneyland? You're not as crazy about it as me.
Okay.
I find it refreshing. It
yes.
is non-alcoholic, and when people are like, "Oh, mint julep, bourbon and thing," no, and it doesn't taste. Mint julep doesn't taste anything like a Disneyland mint julep, so I have no idea where they get off calling it a mint julep.
So
There's not even lemonade in I think in a
about
regular mint
10
julep.
years ago, they had a mint julep that they sold that was like neon green. Like it was, I have a picture
I've had
of it.
that one.
Neon green.
With
and
the cherry and the
yes,
lime
with
and the
cherry,
lemon.
and it tasted like toothpaste. And I got it every single time, and I don't even know why, because I didn't love it. I was
so much
just,
sugar.
It was just like mint julep in Disneyland kind of thing. It
Yeah.
was just like for the gram. They recently changed it, and,
Yeah, now it's
I
like
don't know
clear,
how
yellowy.
recent.
Yeah.
But I like the new one.
Not,
I think
not
the new
recently.
one's better.
It's
Yeah,
longer
it's
than
like-
later. It was like
But it
2017.
wasn't 10 years ago. But it was like, it was.
Well, it
Yeah.
was like 7. So we're getting there.
I don't know if it was 2017.
I think it was. I think
But-
it was.
I do like that one better. That one I do think is very refreshing.
It's still minty. Don't listen to her.
What is your?
But I do love it. I
What
love
is
mint
your
julep.
favorite quick service restaurant? Not stand, because the wonderful thing about Disneyland is that you can bop from stand to stand. But if you are sitting to eat at a quick service restaurant, what is the quick service restaurant?
At Disneyland Park?
Disneyland, not California Adventure.
Okay, that's a tough one. I don't want to, it's hard because we do have a pretty close, I don't want to say clone, but it's very similar, Galaxy's
Okay.
Edge. But like a thing I would always go to, like a quick service thing there, is they have a Ronto-less wrap that
you
we
love the
don't
Ronto.
have here.
Yeah, you do
because
like
it has
that one.
impossible meat in it, but it's also spicy. It has fresh jalapenos on it.
Oh, I love fresh jalapenos.
And I love that. And then, you know what else I like to get there too? Is there? Well, is it there or it's in their docking bay 7? I can't remember because here it's in a different place. I think there it's in their docking bay 7. But I don't even drink coffee, but I love their like that coffee drink with the Cocoa Puffs in it.
It's very good. I
And
got
they
that
did it
last
with
time I was
ube
there.
before.
Oh, really?
Once. Yeah,
I
they
know
did
you love
it. It
ube.
was just a seasonal one, but yeah, I've had it here and I don't like it as much here. But it's like, I don't know. What's yours?
Mine.
I'm trying to like go around the park and think about where I would go.
Mine is the Hungry Bear restaurant.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have only eaten at Hungry Bear like, I don't even know if I've actually eaten there like a full time or if it was just like I ate somebody else's food there.
Everything I've ever gotten, because their menu does change, but every time I go there, it's
and they
got
used to do a
something I
fantastic
want.
dining plan.
They have, I think they still have it though. I haven't checked in like a year, but they have a sandwich that has like fried green tomatoes in it.
Oh,
I love fried green tomatoes, and they're so good. And Hungry Bear Restaurant is one of the very few places at Disneyland that has the Country Bears references. So it has the 5 bear rugs like on a plaque behind the counter, and then the restrooms that are downstairs is Trixie's powder room for the girls and Gomer's
I never saw
bear
that.
lair, I think.
Yeah.
And then the family restroom is the Sunbonnets. So it's like one of the few places that still has Country Bears references. And it's got so much seating and it's covered. Like, I'm sorry, a restaurant with seating and it's covered, good menu, and it has restrooms right then and there. Like,
well, and it used to do Fantasmic Day of
It's
dining
the best.
package, so you would get like reserved seating for Fantasmic, but
Yep.
you were like, oh, I only have to do like the cheapo meal that you get your annual pass discount on if you are an annual pass or a Magic Key holder or whatever. But one thing that popped in my head, a place that I really like to put to check out, which I know a lot of people are going to be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
What is it?
Oh my God, what is it called out there?
Where?
Rose Tavern, in Fantasyland?
Red Rose Tavern.
Red Rose Tavern, yes.
That place is actually a sleeper hit.
Okay, but what did it used to be? It was a Pinocchio's, right? Yeah. So it became Red Rose Tavern, and if you're looking
Their
for
menu
great
really
stuff
got
in
up
Disneyland,
with Red Rose Tavern.
Yeah.
That place is good, and it also has. It's like I like that because it has indoor-outdoor seating, but because it's kind of on the corner, like right before you go from Fantasyland to Frontierland.
Yeah.
The entrance is a little hidden.
It's
easy to miss.
Because you're kind of like walking by, because there's like restrooms over here, there's the train thing over here, and the thing. What are you looking at? Did you know somebody who just walked behind us?
That's the guy I follow on Instagram.
Do you want to go talk to him?
That's the beard guy.
Do you want to go yell and talk to him?
I mean, I kind of do.
We can pause it and yell.
No, I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, when he comes back out.
Bippity boppity beard.
Bippity boppity beard. Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
That's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Well, there's
I got so excited.
there's a horde of Dance Moms characters around me right
I
now
know.
if you're watching this
I know.
video,
I don't
so
know
I
what's
don't
going
really
on.
know what to do about that. So at Red Rose Tavern, they do a lot of there's like a tot breakfast that was there one time.
Yes.
They have sneaky cool items that I always like to look at this place. Okay, you talked about
I wonder if we're going to say the same thing. Go.
Okay. You talked about the Toonton makeover.
The Toonton? Oh.
Have you had the pizza flop over?
No.
Okay, I had it and it was okay.
not.
Did not know there was a pepperoni one.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
mobile ordered and I don't think it was in the mobile order. And I was like,
I was not going to say that. I know we're talking Disneyland, but only because you were just saying
Disneyland
that.
Park.
Okay, then I won't talk about it yet.
Okay, what's in California Adventure? Which park do you think you eat in more than the other one? See, I also checked the area in Tomorrowland.
That place is really good.
Because they had a couple years ago when they first did Season of the Force, they had one that had fried green beans on it, like a burger or a sandwich, and it was very good.
I always check. There was something that we recently
Sleeper
had.
hits.
It was that. I agree. That one is also a sleeper hit. What I also like about Disneyland is they have a lot more breakfast options. That's not dining.
What are we going to talk about? The breakfast chimichanga. How do you feel about it? Have you had it?
I have not had the breakfast chimichanga, but have you had the breakfast shawarma?
Oh, girl. When we get to California Adventure, which we should just pop over to right now, shawarma, period. Across the board.
No, the breakfast shawarma is impossible. So I'm allergic to eggs, as you know.
Yes.
And so I love breakfast. Like my wedding was
the lunch ones are impossible too.
The what?
The lunch ones are impossible.
I didn't know. I've never had it.
Not
like
the chicken
outside
one,
of it. But I did breakfast because they were like, that's impossible. And I was like, well, but are the eggs as well? And they were like, yes.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. When they say it's a plant-based
thing is banging. It's so good. I got that. Like even when we would start the day in Disneyland, I would go to California Adventure just to get the breakfast shawarma, and I would bring it over to Disneyland.
Girl,
Like,
so here's the thing. If you don't know about
good.
this breakfast shawarma, which can be found at 2 different carts, at least
Yep,
as of
yep.
recording this, there's a cart that is like right outside of the Sanctum Sanctorum like area, whatever that is, and then there's one right outside of the
across from
Hyperion.
Web Slingers.
Yeah, and they both serve the shawarma like throughout the day, but the breakfast one has like an Impossible patty and has an Impossible
And they're limited, so if you don't get there, like once they're
Yeah.
out, they're out.
And there's like it's the spicy maple syrup. I'm not even a maple
Yes.
syrup person. Really, I like syrup, but like
Yeah.
not maple. If it's synthetic, it's fine. But like
Synthetic syrup.
I don't know. It's like weird. If it's like too tree, I don't like it. But
Like thick.
I don't know. I think I ate maple bacon once thinking it was regular bacon, and I was so upset about it that I was like,
Too sweet.
I swear off of you.
Oh,
Like,
that's
yeah.
interesting. No, I love a maple flavor.
I also would argue both of the lunch ones are delicious, especially I like there's like a cauliflower one that's really good.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. Now we're talking about it. I'm like, do I eat more in California Adventure than I do at Disneyland
I
Park?
don't think I do. Like I'm trying to think. Like
You don't think so?
But California Adventure has the festival booths and stuff, and I don't really count that because that changes, and you can't always count
I don't,
on
and
that,
I've never,
you know,
and their festivals
I
last
don't-
like 4 weeks. And
exactly.
They're gone,
So I'm
it's
like, I eat like I do.
Okay, but
eat
here's the
those
thing:
sometimes.
if you're coming with me, guess what we're gonna get for lunch one of the days while we're there? A not so, or the not so impossible. Good Lord, I'm renaming
The
food.
not so impossible.
Not so little chicken sandwich.
Oh, you
at
keep telling me
Pim's.
about that.
Oh my God, girl!
The only thing I've had at Pim's.
I know it's just a chicken cutlet and a tiny little
is
bun,
the
but
peanut
it's so good.
butter sandwich, like the peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Why is that the only thing you had?
I've had that, and I've had the when it was a chocolate bar. It's not a chocolate bar anymore, which I'm really
Is
sad
it not a
about.
chocolate bar?
It's
What is
a
it?
slice of chocolate cake.
And they all will randomly have like seasonal offerings, like their pretzels get pretty crazy. Like I had their wasabi one, it was awful, but I'm glad I had it. It was like in like donut batter or something like that. It was like green. It was supposed to be like
It's a little
Spam
much.
wasabi pretzel, but but done also with like a
Like, good idea in
donut batter or
theory, but I
something
don't
like
know.
that? Yeah.
All right.
So that, but I like them, and then I'm trying to think around that part because now I'm like, oh, I always eat there.
No.
That's a must eat. The shawarma is a must for me.
Yeah, I know you love the chicken sandwich.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, because
I don't eat
I
a
guess
lot
I'm
there.
there for
I really
work
don't
a lot,
think
so
I
it's
do.
a lot of like seasonal stuff.
'Cause I'm, like,
I
going
do like the
around-
festival booths though; they are good.
The
Their
what?
festival,
Yeah, their festival booths are very
and
like,
it will
solid.
permeate throughout the park. It's not just at the booths; it's at the
Right,
restaurants, it's
right.
at the things. So
I do like Lamplight Lounge.
I do like Lamplight Lounge.
Because
That was
of
what I was
those
trying to think
lobster
of.
nachos.
I love the lobster nachos.
lobster nachos
The
are
lobster nachos, and they
fantastic.
still have their little secret menu,
And
they'll bring out their little
that's
drinks.
your meal, man. That is
Oh, yeah.
your meal. Like, I'll never forget this. Steve and I were visiting Disneyland, and we like had a reservation to go to Lamplight Lounge, and lobster nachos was what I was going to have for dinner that night. Like, that was it. And when we were sitting down, we got a call from our friends who are Club 33 members. And they called and they were like, hey, we saw on Instagram that you guys are here. And we're like, oh, yeah. And they were like, we're at the Club 33 Lounge. Do you want to come hang out? And I like looked at the menu and I was like, yep. And we just left the lobster nachos and went straight over to the lounge. But that was like the only time I would ever leave the lobster nachos at Lamplight. But they were so, I love
They're
those.
one of those items where every time I
So
go to get
good.
it, you're always like, are they going to be as good as they were last time?
they
And then you're like,
always
they're
are.
better. They also have really good like local craft brews there too. They have a lot of like Bottle Logic, which I really like.
So I don't know if you're going to have an opinion on this or not.
Okay.
But as someone with children, I have an opinion about
I would like
this.
to hear it.
Okay.
Even though I don't have them.
So this is my opinion, and that is character dining in Disneyland.
Yeah, how's that?
If you want the best character dining at Disneyland, the answer is the Plaza Inn at the end of Main Street at Disneyland. That is your answer. Period. Period. Hard
It's
stop.
a pretty good option.
I will
That's
go,
a quick service
we
too,
have
right?
done that. No. In the morning, it's a buffet.
But it's like casual, quick in the afternoon,
Yeah,
I think. But
yeah,
no
I
characters.
think so. I think so.
Yeah.
It's a buffet, and there's chicken and waffles, and there's so many other like options, and it's like it's one of those grab bag characters. So you know
Sorry,
you're good.
what? Oh, grab bag. I heard rat bag, and I
No,
was like, wow,
rat
that's an
bag
awful way to
characters.
describe that.
So Minnie will be there because it's her breakfast. But you kind of get like a Mod Podge. Like we went in December of last year,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Tigger, Daisy, Pluto, Chip, Dale, Susie and Perla, Winnie the
Who's
Pooh.
Susie and Perla?
The mice from Cinderella.
Oh, I didn't know their names. I just call them mice from Cinderella.
But you're talking, I'm like, that's 8 characters plus Minnie.
That's a lot.
Like, that's a lot. And they are making the rounds. Like,
wait, did you say Max?
Max wasn't there, but he was there with you.
I did go one time, and he taught me the dance.
That's what I like about Minnie's is, yes, it's a random assortment of characters, but it's always a lot.
Wait, is it called Minnie's?
It's Minnie's Plaza the breakfast is
it's called
Minnie's.
It's all, okay,
it's Minnie's. So
gotcha.
she's the
so
one
it's like
that's
her hosting her friends.
Yes,
like, okay.
she's the one that's outside that takes the picture.
Yeah.
But like the food is always great, and it's actually a very good deal, like financially, like very good price. We have gone there the last 4 times, like, because we went to Goofy's, I think for the last time, and me and Steve both looked at each other and we're like, I think this is the last time we're going to do Goofy's. Like, just not impressed. Yeah. And again,
I also think
if you like Goofy's, all on you.
Throw yourself out
like,
into new stuff anyways.
That's great. But I think that, and it's easier to book. I think it's a hidden gem. I don't think enough people know about it. I think that's the best one.
Okay, so we have talked ad nauseam about food.
Food, okay.
And the weather's better.
Here's
the thing, the weather's great. Yeah. So we should talk about that. It's because I know that's a big thing where a lot of people feel like Disneyland is a lot smaller, this is more expansive, but the thing there is like they're using that space. They are the best of the best of the best. So like some of the things that stand out to me there is that and people, if you've watched this channel for long enough, you know how much I love dinosaur here. I love Indiana Jones out there. No? Okay, so here's what I think about when I think
Indiana Jones is great.
But here's my thing. I'm speaking like not just a first timer, but even like a repeat person.
It's a fantastic attraction.
If I don't do them, I get a little upset.
Okay.
Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Hold on, going around the park in my mind. Space Mountain. Their Space Mountain, which I would argue is superior.
One of my favorites.
Side by side, and Michael Giacchino's score that's blaring at you.
So good.
So there's those two. And then, I mean, I know a lot of people say Matterhorn, but it feels like a spinal realignment to me. So it's one of those where, like, if I do it, I'm happy, but I don't have to.
Matterhorn, about 2 years ago, we got off, and I literally turned to Steve and I said, this is the last time I can do the Matterhorn. I can't, it hurts.
It does
I
hurt.
wish it didn't, because I do think it's fun, and I love
especially at night.
The
I would
story.
say
I think it's such a cool ride. It just hurts is all. I just can't
It's a
do
tough
it
one.
anymore.
It's physically demanding.
Yeah.
I like Alice in Wonderland, even
Alice in
though
Wonderland's
I
my favorite.
don't like Alice in Wonderland the movie.
No, Alice in Wonderland
but
is
I
my
like the
favorite.
ride.
Is my favorite.
Especially do it at night.
Fantasyland attraction.
Yeah. And you know what else I like doing? Snow White and Pinocchio.
Snow White.
It's like
Snow
Mr.
White's
Toad.
beautiful now.
The Fantasyland rides.
The Fantasyland rides are so good, and so I have to jump on that for just a second. So, Indiana Jones is a flawless ride. It's great. It is like just like
it's flawless because I feel like they could be dropping the ice like they used to. The bridge, you used to go over the bridge, and I read about dropping the bridge. But then also we're in that dark hallway, and like the thing stalls and then restarts, and like what's that about? Okay, go ahead.
When it comes to like, I think Indiana Jones is really fun, and I like it. But it was also a Matterhorn moment where I was like, this really hurt me. I was like, okay, my back just cracked.
Yeah.
Like
I'm scared to sit on the end.
I can't, like, and that's what it is for me.
Like,
where I'm like,
when was the first time someone was ejected? Right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay waiting outside with the kids for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but you know who I saw on that ride?
What?
Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, so that's why you
Harvey
love it.
Guillon.
But do you know what the best part about Indiana Jones is? The Little Man of Disneyland.
Tell the story. It is actually pretty cute.
It's very cute.
Yeah, cute, so cute.
So back in the 50s, Disney made a little golden book called The Little Man of Disneyland, and it was a promotional book.
I didn't know it was that old.
Yes, it was a promotional book for Disneyland, and it was a story about Mickey and his friends going to the orange groves, and they meet this little leprechaun named Patrick Bagora, and Patrick Bagora is like, get out of here. This is where I live. And they were like, listen, we need to tear down your house because we're going to build Disneyland here on the Orange Groves, but it's going to be amazing. So they take Patrick Bagora to the studios in Burbank, and they show him all the concept art and everything for Disneyland. They win him over, and he's like, okay, here's the deal. You can tear down my house, but I get to have a place to live in Disneyland. And they were like, great. And in the book, it says, but no one's going to know where it is. It's my secret abode, but I'll be able to live in Disneyland. And they were like, deal. So the book ends with him moving into Disneyland. You don't know where. You don't know anything about it. That's how the book ends. Is that he?
Yeah,
like,
but his
so keep
little
an
house
eye
didn't
open.
show up until a couple
It
years ago.
didn't show up until probably like 10 years ago.
No, less than that. I think it was new when D23 happened.
No, I think it was like 10 years ago. And so if you want to find Patrick Begora's house, there is a big, in Adventureland, there's a sign that has like for Indiana Jones and the Forbidden, whatever it's called. It's a long name. Yeah. And the post that is on, the back side of the post, you can see Patrick Begora's little house. It's got like a door and a window, and it's so cute. And like last year, they released another book on Amazon, and this is a brand new book. And now the book is about him. He is losing his hat, and he wants to find it, and Mickey helps him. And then he says that everything's too big in Disneyland. He can't do anything. It's too big. So Mickey takes him to Storybook Land, like where everything's miniature. And I haven't gone there yet to see if there's anything for him.
Oh, there might be.
Like there's got to be, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think that there was like I don't like the storybook canals. Like they're not my jam. They're weird. The whole experience is very weird. I also don't like tiny things.
But I also love the kids.
I don't like small cooking videos.
No, I mean,
because it
weird,
makes me think like the tips of my fingers hurt thinking about it. So I'm always like, the little pan, and the omelet goes over. Like, no. Yeah. But you know what's crazy is there's a lot of places at Disneyland that has that environment. Like I think about where's where they sell the Dole Whip now?
At Tiki Room?
No, out in the back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Tropical Serenade.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Tropical, but not Serenade. I don't think it's
Tropical Hideaway. Yes. You're right.
Okay.
Tropical.
You're
Tropical
Serenade. Don't you dare give me that look.
Tropical Serenade's from the attraction.
And what I like is like Rosita's out there, and it's like it like kind of continues that story out the back door. And I love that about Disney.
And all of
where
the girls' perches are up there too.
Yeah, and it's cute, and like there's good options there. The bow there is good. Like I like the Dole Whip there. That's one of those things I get. Okay, we talked about food, and I cannot believe I didn't bring this up. I like to get. I've fallen under the spell of the grilled cheese with the soup. The tomato soup from Jolly Holiday.
Oh,
the Jolly Holiday combo.
I have not had that.
I hate tomato soup.
You're a monster.
Love the Jolly Holiday tomato soup.
Well,
without grilled cheese. You do it at night. Here's the thing. We don't have a Jolly Holiday or any equivalent of that here. I guess Baseline Tap House is the closest equivalent.
I wouldn't say those are the same.
Edison bulbs, people watching, tables outside, nighttime views.
Beer and pretzels.
Yeah, I wish.
Crumpets.
Yeah, whatever. It's the British version.
It's a little different.
But I am like, it is one of my spots where you're like, it's like, it's not complete unless you park a spot there for a few minutes and dip your little sandwich in your little soup and eat it.
Okay.
Because it's always cool at night there.
At night there. You know what else I like is bread bowls. I like the.
I love a bread bowl.
Anything in a bread bowl.
From the Pacific Wharf Cafe.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's what it's actually called.
But also Harbor Galley.
San Francisco.
Harbor Galley is a great place to get a bread bowl because nobody remembers Harbor Galley.
I didn't know you could have bread bowls there.
Harbor Galley.
Oh, I remember because
right there on
I had
the water.
something really disgusting.
Really?
There.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Lobster mac and cheese in a bread bowl.
I forget what I had.
Galley.
I was like, ooh.
Okay, back to attractions. Okay, so let's talk about a few things.
Yeah, because we don't have a lot of time left.
Pirates of the Caribbean is obviously
way better. If you were ever like, how did they come up with the idea of the movie? Watch it there.
Watch it there. Haunted Mansion. I have feelings about Haunted Mansion. Here they are. Ready?
I like both.
The exterior of Haunted Mansion at Disneyland is where my heart lives. I love.
But I'm from New England.
I know you do, so you love the one here.
Yeah.
And I don't like the one here, like the exterior anyway. But the exterior of Disneyland's, I just think is so beautiful. It tells a great story.
But you literally go through the front door there too, which is really
cool. That's
what
I love. I just love that it looks
like
the
you
part.
are going into a haunted house. Yeah,
and I like
and
that
here
there's
you're like going into a basement.
the wrought iron fence around and this pet cemetery. Like I love the exterior. Now, I love the hallway.
Closed currently as of filming this because they're redoing that.
I love the hallway into the load area, and then after that, I tune out. Because I love Disneyland, but their Haunted Mansion is subpar compared to Disney World's. Inside. Now,
I would say there is an exception.
Changes.
I would say an exception in that.
My tune changes when Jack and Sally show up. Because Haunted Mansion Holiday is a brand new attraction.
And people when they're like an
it
overlay,
is not
and
an
I was
overlay.
like, no.
It is not.
I was like, Different
it is
story,
a standalone
different thing.
attraction. It is fantastic.
You know what? It's an overlay in the example of the same way Guardians of the Galaxy is an overlay of Tower of
Correct.
Terror. Yeah.
Yes, that's fair.
So
those are my feelings about the
you know
Haunted
what other
Mansion.
part though too I think is superior there is when you come out of the attic and there's the scary trees.
Yes,
You can
because
see
they're
these
like,
scary trees and they're
yeah.
like, "Arr," and we don't really have those here.
yeah. I
We're
mean,
just
they
like
do
going in
that,
the
but they're. I agree. I don't feel like they're as low or prominent.
And I can't really see
I
them.
mean, maybe they are, but I can't really see them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else? So I know I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash on this. I prefer Mission Breakout to Tower of Terror.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. It's one of my favorite attractions at Disneyland, if not my favorite. And it's crazy because you're like, oh, this rethemed thing, but I was like, it's the beauty of what storytelling can do
Correct.
to completely change the perspective of what this
Correct.
ride is, where it went to be this like terrifying experience to this thing where it was
Being
like,
fun.
it's so much fun.
Yes.
And you're like, what song, what thing, and then it's different all the time. And then I just love that experience
is
of
how
having
I
that with other
explain it, too,
people.
'cause, like,
but I don't like Tower of Terror here.
No, I love Tower of Terror.
No, I like the theming, but it's not. It
the
doesn't
story
make
of
me
Tower
feel
of
that
Terror.
same
It
way.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the theming. I love the story. I love everything about it. But the thing is, when you go on Tower of Terror, you are to feel scared. That's it. You're like, we want you to be creeped out.
Yeah.
We want you to be like
Hitchpoke, be a coke.
That's what the thing is here. But in California, like I'm laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm laughing. I'm like, woo! Like
You
I'm
come out with, like,
having
tears in your
fun.
eyes, yeah.
I feel the same way about Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Like we have Alien Swirling Saucers, and it's supposed to be like the same type of
Junkyard's
attraction.
superior.
Alien Swirling Saucers is fine. It's fun. But Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, when Mater is singing those just nonsense
it's like,
songs.
yeah.
and when
Bird,
he's-
bird, bird. Yeah,
like
you're
I don't even
like,
know what
yeah.
he's saying. I'm crying laughing, and
Yeah.
and it whips. I love it. So anything that
It's
like
the same
makes
way with the
me
Luigi.
laugh,
Everybody
yes!
does. Yeah.
Anything that just makes me laugh and like just have fun, like I'm gonna prefer.
Yeah.
And I like that's I don't know. I'm trying to think in Disneyland. I'm with you. I
I
have
like Buzz
to do.
Lightyear better there because I like
I
to
don't
pick
really
up the
care about
stick.
Buzz Lightyear
Okay, well,
either
that's
way,
weird, but she
but
doesn't like Buzz
no,
Lightyear.
I like.
Show them your backpack. For those of you listening, it's a trash doll who gave up on all of his friends in Toy Story 4. Oh yeah, and his expression is exactly hers right now. Did you put his hand over his mouth on purpose like that?
Gideon did it because he said Woody's laughing.
Oh, I thought he was going.
I'm so upset with you right
Anyway,
now. Wow. The next episode will be why Woody is a superior character.
that'll
to
be a
Buzz
breakdown
Lightyear.
for our Patreon.
That'll be great.
I also really enjoy. I went on California Screaming a couple times when it was California Screaming, and it was not something I ever had to do, and it made me like sick. And I don't know because I had to like ride it 3 times in a row once for like a ride cam, and it was just
Okay.
like I can't do this. The Incredicoaster though, when you do it after once the evening has set in,
I
and
like the
lights are on
Incredicoaster.
inside, and I just love and the baby is gone.
And the baby is gone.
And can you watch the baby? Sure, darling. And the baby is gone. It's like almost the same
It's
sentence.
so funny.
But then cookie, num num cookie, and you
Yes.
like smell it, and the lights and the thing. But then like the cold air if you're doing it at night with the thing
Like
and the
Gideon's
music.
favorite thing,
Oh, it's so
like
good.
Gideon's not big enough to go on the Incredicoaster, but he will sit with whoever right on that railing and watch Dash run
Yeah.
over and
1, 2, 3,
over and
4.
over. He thinks it's the funniest thing. He thinks it's so great.
Yeah.
And like, okay, here's the real question. Here it is. Show-stopping
Okay.
question. Are you or are you not doing the swinging gondolas?
Girl, do you know me? No, I would. No, the swing. I'll do the jumping jellyfish.
That's
but
nothing.
You want me to do a swing that spins around?
No,
and
not-
launches me
no.
to death?
Wait. Not a swing.
Oh, girl, I have never done the Mickey's Fun Wheel.
Mickey's
ever,
Fun
ever,
Wheel, the
ever. Mickey's Death
gondolas.
Wheel? No, thank you, ma'am.
Come on.
No, thank you.
Ryno,
One, I hate Ferris wheels. I saw an episode of
Listen,
Rescue 911 when I was a
you
kid. It
should
did not
do-
bode well.
You should do a Patreon where you're like, next time I go to Disneyland,
No.
me and Amber
There's
are
not
going to
enough
go.
money in
you
the
have
world.
to get like, X amount of dollars. And if we
Yeah.
hit that, I
If
will go on
everyone
swing
out
gondolas.
there
Ryno,
can pay
me
off my
and
student
you-
loans,
me
I
and
will
you
do
would
it.
have so much fun on the gondolas. You would be screaming. I would be laughing, crying. It'd be so fun.
If the internet pays off my student loans,
Internet,
I will do
we
it.
can do it.
A swinging gondola,
Yes.
and I will do it for as many times as dictated by the thing. If my student loans are paid off by the internet. So that's $82,000. So that's my number to get on one of that thing.
But listen,
But I'll do it.
If you get $82,000, it has to go to your student loans.
There's not enough people that listen or watch this to come up with that money, so it's
Liz,
fine.
well, you
Even
know,
if everyone gave me $1,
I love,
it's not enough.
I love that you're like, it's never going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just guaranteed myself out of that.
Okay, I do have one more thing about Disneyland. I played music for 15 years, and I
humble brag.
love like bands in general, but a marching band will always get me so happy, and the Disneyland band is the best band there is. And
I love their thing with Mary Poppins.
No. That's the Pearly Band, and the Pearly Band is great too. But the Disneyland band,
oh yeah, they do it at the train station, right?
They do all over the park, so they have different sets. My favorite set is the Frontierland set that they do in front of the Diamond Horseshoe. I get them mixed up all the time.
I don't remember which
Diamond
is
and
which.
Golden, I always get them mixed up. So they do it's like a 15-minute Frontierland set, and it's like it's a call and response between the trombone player and the saxophonist. So they kind of are like battling. When we went to Disneyland last August, and I had to catch a plane, and you like wanted to sleep in, I woke up early. I went to Maurice's Treats, and I got that pretzel roll with the garlic and cheese. Oh yeah, girl, I had and a coffee. That was my breakfast. Yeah. And I parked it and just sat in Frontierland, and I waited for them to come, and I just watched. And I'm like, I like tear up and cry. It is so much fun. Like, any chance you get to watch the Disneyland band do any of their sets, they're so good. They are so just like charming and fun, and the energy is great, and you're laughing and crying. Like, it's so great. Any chance you get to watch Disneyland band.
I love Soundsational. I love not Mickey's Mixed Magic, but I do love Mickey's Mixed Magic.
You do love
and I
Mickey's
really
Mixed
feel like
Magic.
they should be playing that repeatedly throughout the night. It doesn't have to be a special thing.
Right.
It's 10 minutes, guys.
Right.
Everyone loves to sing and dance to it. Put it on like 3 times a night. Once an hour for the last like 3 hours of the night. Jeez. And even if you're having different fireworks, it's still fun. It gets people hyped. But anyway, I like Magic Happens, I like Soundsational, and I like Paint the Night. I don't love the Pixar Parade, but I also didn't really like the one at Disney's Hollywood Studios either, so there's a part of me where I don't like that. But that's just me. I'm going out to watch the new one, so I'm going to be open-minded and be like, I was completely wrong, I love it. So,
well, and that's the thing is, Disneyland has not disappointed me on a parade, like whenever they replace it or whatever. Like, and I'm not a big parade or fireworks person. Like, I would much rather do something else, but when it's Disneyland,
I got to do it. You know what I love, though, is it's much more succinct. When you go there, it's not a 25-minute fireworks show. It's like, if it
Let's
is
get to the
15
point. Like, yeah, we've
minutes,
got to get
it is,
through it.
You know, and you're like, oh, thank God, I can get out. Like, you're done. I'm done. And that was it. And it's not a big whatever. It's just like, go over, watch it, get on with your life. Here, it's like, you got to sit over 2 hours ahead of time.
Yeah,
you're not
it's
watching
a lot.
it. Someone's throwing up kids on shoulders. They do it there, too. But there's more places to watch it because they do the projections, more spaces. Regardless, we could talk about this forever, but I think we've talked too
I'm going
long.
to end this with one story.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you were talking about the characters and how they're special.
Yeah.
Do you know why Pluto is my favorite character? You probably don't know this.
You don't even like dogs.
I don't. I mean, I like dogs.
Don't say it on the internet.
I like dogs. I'm just more of a cat person. So Pluto's my favorite character. When I was a kid, I loved Pluto. And when I was probably like 7 or 8, I was at Toontown, and he was at the gazebo doing a meet and greet. Toontown.
In Disneyland?
And when I went to go meet him, he was leaving his set. I didn't understand that. And I was like, Pluto, Pluto, was calling after him, and he ignored me, and he left. And from that day on, I hated Pluto. Like, I could not even be in the same room as Pluto. If Pluto was on the TV, I'd be like, change the channel. I don't know why. I just had this huge vendetta. 11th grade, we went to Disneyland for Magic Music Days. So, like, my band got to, like, you know, play in, like, the Christmas parade or something like that. And so we had some free time, and I was with a couple of my friends, and Pluto was walking around. And my friends were like, oh, let's go take a picture of Pluto. And I was like, I hate that dog. And I wouldn't go near him. And I had mouse ears, like old school mouse ears, like the hat. And I had it on my head, and he was playing with my friends, and I was kind of a few feet back, wasn't interacting, nothing. And Pluto zeroed in on me, and he walked past my friends, and he just very gingerly took my ears off of my head, and he put them on his head, on the little bump on his head, put him on his head, and then he just looked at me and just put his arms open like this. And I was like, I love you. And I just gave him the biggest hug. And ever since, I was like, I forgive you. And I just love Pluto so much. But that's because there
I try to do the same thing, and you don't meet me with that.
That is a lie, and you know it. How dare you ruin this beautiful moment? But like that wouldn't have happened here. We didn't wait like 30 minutes to meet him. We didn't do. He was just walking around.
Yeah.
And he saw something. He saw that I was standoffish. Yeah. He saw that I wasn't into it, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna change this." And like that. That's the kind of stuff. That's why I love.
It's a big. It adds a lot to the vibe and the experience that you have
organic.
There. So yeah. And that's it. I think so. If you're somebody who hasn't been, we would definitely say give it a try. And. So Amber, I appreciate you very much for having this conversation with me. We could talk about Disneyland for the rest of the night, but we can't. It's getting darker. Your children have been begging for you.
Hang out,
yeah, I can hear they don't even. You don't remember her face? Watch the video.
So dramatic.
So yeah. So we'll get you back to the rest of your family here. Thank you again. Thank you everybody out there for watching and listening. If you are listening to this, please, whenever you have a chance, rate and review the podcast. And if you are watching, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave any comments about future conversation topics or any questions you have about Disneyland. I'm sure we could try and answer them and give you our experiences to them. Yes, yeah. And don't forget about Dreams Unlimited Travel when planning your next Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, vacation, whatever. I'm sure, Amber, we will see you again.
Oh, I'll be around.
Just kidding. You're not allowed. This is it.
This is it.
One time only. You're fired. No. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody out there. And remember, everything is better at Disneyland.